Are we a lost cause, drifting further and further away from what we truly are? Or is this who we truly are? Is this who we've become? Is this part of our story to advance to the point of no return, where everything we create, everything we do, makes us more and more sick? It's time to reconnect. From our days as simple hunter-gatherers on the African plains, Homo sapiens have come an incredibly long way in a very short space of time. We've gone from bows and arrows to domesticating animals to now factory farms able to feed millions of people in an instant, and technologies that ward off predators, pests, and make our foods grow bigger, faster, and cheaper. In theory, all of this sounds incredible, but what is the hidden cost of all this convenience? In the beginning, this implies that there was a beginning. In the beginning, man was a single-cell organism. But let's skip forward a few billion years. About 100,000 years ago, Homo sapiens, that's us, roamed the lands as just another animal in the evolutionary arena. We were far from anything special. We weren't particularly strong or particularly fast. In terms of physical stature, there were many animals much stronger and more adapted to hunting than we were. We were firmly in the middle of the food chain. That was until about 70,000 years ago when we experienced the cognitive revolution, the point where history declared its independence from biology. From here on, humans developed language and subsequently were able to tell stories and myths, enabling mass organization and communication like no other species had ever seen before. This ability allowed us to organize and take over the world. From here on, humans quickly rose to the top of the food chain, wiping out major species in their wake. Because of their increased ability to organize and hunt, food supplies rose and bands were quickly able to support more children. This continued until we figured out how to domesticate animals and plants, enabling us to therefore support an even bigger population and feed even more people. But this is where the disconnection begins. As we begin to produce food in a more controlled and more confined way, the quality and nutritional value of our foods began to decrease. The old ways of hunting could no longer support the new communities of thousands of people. Mass production led to decreased quality. Regardless, for the first time in human history, humans were able to secure food for longer periods of time and apply their efforts into other endeavors that would make their life easier. With new innovation, the trivial parts of life were handled and human beings continued expanding. With no predators and the control of nature for our own good, nothing could stop us. Bring along empires, kingdoms, cities, and pyramids. Bring along the Industrial Revolution. Until this point, humans still played an integral part in the production of our food, goods, and services. Even though we had tools to help us, we had to be part of the entire process in some way. There wasn't some robot that could do it all for us yet. With the Industrial Revolution came mechanization, and we were able to move at lightning speeds, able to produce, sell, and consume anything we wanted. Life was good, but never good enough. There was always a way to be better, faster, more productive, and more efficient. And with each new innovation came new opportunities.
More machines, more jobs. Millions of new jobs. Automobiles, gas, radio. The old jobs went, there was trouble, but we got new jobs.
Humans had reached their peak performance in terms of production and efficiency. Wealth was being created like no other time in history, for some, and modern convenience was at an all-time high. This was the American dream era, where you could work hard, make a good living, and buy anything you wanted. There was no limit to how much you could do and how much you could own. Life was a playground filled with endless toys. With this convenience, there was no need to farm or hunt for your own food. No need to spend time making your own furniture, or no need to spend your time collecting seashells to make art. Everything and anything could be bought. With this, money became a god above all else. Not that money is inherently a bad thing. It can facilitate so much growth and love, but money allowed us to become more disconnected from everything we once knew, everything we had evolved to become. Along with this and the need to feed an ever-increasing population, our food systems became more and more mass-produced. More monocultures, less biodiversity, less life, and less of everything that fuels a healthy us. Watching the sunset turned into watching Netflix. Hunting and foraging turned into McDonald's and Uber Eats, all at the cost of a lower and lower quality of life. This is called the luxury trap. The things that we thought would make our lives even easier, in fact, added more complication to them, in the form of stress, anxiety, depression, obesity, and a myriad of other physical and mental health illnesses. Life, as we know it today, is more disconnected from our food, our planet, our land, and ourselves than ever before. And the sad part is, we don't even know it. Technology continues to push us further and further away from who we truly are. And with it, it continues to create more illnesses, more separation, and a lack of quality and appreciation for life. Most Americans today spend 90 to 95% of their day inside with shoes on, eating factory-farmed meat and vegetables, processed foods and sugars, filling their bodies with chemicals inside and out, and getting little to no exercise. This is not who we are. This is not who we are supposed to be. It's no wonder that most people have some kind of physical or mental illness when this is the norm that we've created for ourselves. So, now what? This all sounds very doom and gloom, but there is some light at the end of the tunnel. There is a way to save ourselves. I believe the best way to do this is to realign our lifestyles with our biology. And this doesn't have to be something that's difficult. And I know right now it may sound very intimidating, but that's a reflection of how far we've come, of how disconnected we've become to ourselves. But all it takes is allowing our bodies to do what they've naturally done for hundreds of thousands of years. Things like getting outside regularly, breathing fresh air, walking barefoot, and eating good, organic, non-chemical foods. It means disconnecting from screens, moving our bodies, and engaging with our land and our communities. This may sound scary to you now, but this is what you are made to do. It is baked into our DNA. A question I often ask myself as a guideline for life is, what did our ancestors do? What did they eat? How did they live? What allowed them to thrive and survive in a planet with no grocery stores or Amazon Prime? I don't think all technology is bad. Like money, technology can facilitate some incredible feats and bring tremendous joy and love to the world. But we've fallen into an age of unconsciousness, and it is this unconsciousness that is dangerous and deadly. It's time to disconnect, to reconnect.